How you doing, everybody? Day 14 of the impeachment trial of our Vice President Sara Duterte. Let's get into it. Okay, so may bago bang information na lumabas today? Nothing. Basically the same issue. Same questions were asked. Yeah, actually, when it started, I thought, wow, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Kasi Kapunan asked if yung mga naka-enumerate the things in the proof of success in using the confidential fund are not following the regulations of the joint circular. So I thought this is going to be an interesting day. Dun sa mga naka-enumerate were tree planting, meron pang libreng sakay, all the other things. And according to the witness, by the way, ang witness, that lady is the successor of Mr. Wamil, Attorney Wamil. So when Attorney Wamil was moved to a different office, she took over the audit for the Office of the Vice President Confidential Fund. So dun sa naka-enumerate na mga proof of success ng pinagkagastusan ng confidential fund, it stated there na merong tree planting, merong libreng sakay. Kapunan asked the witness if those things were under the regulation or under the things that are listed as, things that we could be spending our money to when it comes to joint confidential fund. And according to the witness, that no, hindi po. Yung tree planting, libreng sakay, hindi po yun nasasaklaw sa kung ano yung pwedeng pagkagastusan ng pera ng confidential fund. If you can remember, in the previous days, I said in my video and during the deliberation, they also mentioned na it's confidential. That's why we can't give out the information yet kasi the operation is still ongoing, di ba? Pero now it's looking like, okay, these are the things that are done na. They have the proof of success. And according to this, yung pinagkagastusan ng pera is not under the regulations that are allowed or not under the things that are allowed by the joint circular. So medyo nagiging interesting siya. We're starting to see na, okay, maybe Sarah did something here that is illegal, di ba? Pero you have to remember that the defense allowed this in their interpellation. Pinayagan ng defense na gamitin to as evidence against Sarah in the proceedings. That means they know how to defend this. So we have to wait for the defense to do their cross-examination and for us to see na kung ano ba talaga ang tama. Pero somehow this is what I see, my personal take about what was discussed earlier today. Nung Kapunan was asking the witness na, okay, are these things na listed sa kanilang proof of success, nasasaklaw ba to dun sa mga bagay na allowed ng joint circular na pagkagastusan ng confidential fund? Ang sagot ng witness was no, hindi po. Pero klinlaro ni Cheese Escudero ang tanong. Sabi niya, with the indulgence of the proceeding officer, I want to ask, Miss Witness, let's just clarify this. Yung mga nakasaad sa proof of success nila, hindi yun ang ginastusan nila ng pera, di ba? Sagot ng witness, opo. Okay, good. Yung nasa proof of success nakalista, that just means yun yung nagawa nila, yun yung produkto or na-achieve nila by spending the money to buy intelligence before doing the action. Does that make sense? Parang ganito. Gusto nila mag-tree planting sa isang location. Okay? Ang product or ang success should be tree planting. Pero before sila makapag-tree planting, kailangan nilang bumili ng information muna from their sources para malaman nila kung safe ba na may gawin doon ang Office of the Vice President. May mga threats ba kung may gagawin doon ang Office of the Vice President? Kasi remember, we're dealing with mga, new people's army sa bundok. yun yung pinagkagastosan ng pera, yung information na binili para malaman kung safe bang dalhin doon ang mga produkto, ang mga gamot, ang mga trees para matanim nila. It did not mean, or yung witness did not mean na ito naka-enumerate dito ginastos ang pera. No. That's just the product of what they were able to do. Yung pera actually napunta dun sa pagbili nila ng information to find out if safe ba kung may gagawing operations dun ang Office of the Vice President. Does that make sense? Kasi ang mangyayari niyan is before makakilos yung Office of the Vice President, for example, before sila makagibigay ng gamot sa mga lumad, sa mga netibo, before sila makabigay ng libreng sakay or assistance sa mga tao sa bundok na kailangan bumaba, sa syudad para makapunta sa hospital, kailangan muna nila alamin na along the way, safe ba yung mga dadaanan, yung papupuntahan ng mga gamot, safe ba? Hindi, or baka pwede silang ma-ambush, kunin yung mga gamot, gamitin ng mga rebelde. Baka ma-ambush yung nagdadala ng mga bigas, kunin ng mga rebelde yung dalang bigas, patayin yung mga nag-deliver, di ba? So, kailangan gumastos ng OVP para sa information na malaman gaano yung safety, paano natin ma-achieve yung plano natin na magpadala ng gamot, magpadala ng masasakyan o ng bigas sa area na yan na hindi nagiging delikado yung buhay ng nagdadala at hindi mananakaw yung mga ipapadala. Doon ginastos yung confidential fund. Kung nakikita nyo doon sa acknowledgement receipt that was paid to the person, the informant, nakalagay doon, purchase of information. Yun. Bumili sila ng information para malaman kung safe ba ang, daanan, transportation, ang mga pagdadalhan ng mga, tulong ni OVP. Hindi ibig sabihin noon na yung naka-enumerate sa papel na gamot, bigas, tree planting, dun ginastos ang pera. Hindi. Dito ginastos sa information na binili para malaman kung safe ba dalhin yung gamot, pagkain, bigas, at libreng sakay sa location na pupuntahan nila. Kinlaro ni Cheese yun. Kasi ang dating when Kapunan was just questioning, it just sounded like the money was spent for medicine, rice, and tree planting, libreng sakay. So kinlaro ni Cheese. No. Itong medicine, tree planting, libreng sakay are the success na. Yung nagawa na nila yung dapat gawin. Yung money was spent in purchasing information para malaman nila kung kaya ba natin gawin to, para magsasucceed ba tayo kung gagawin natin to. Right? Kaya kailangan maging maingat tayo sa pag-intindi pag may mga proceedings na ganito, na hindi natin pakinggan yung kung ano lang ang sinabi, kundi talagang alamin natin or we really look into the situation much deeper than what's being said behind the stands or by the prosecution lawyer, because there are instances that they're gonna say things to form a narrative, and if you're not looking beyond what they're saying, they're gonna form your mind into thinking that yes, Sarah probably did something here. Now, in regards to the aliases naman, dun sa acknowledgement receipts, bakit aliases bawal ba? We've already talked about this the other day. That's why I told you there's not much new information here. It's not wrong to use aliases in the acknowledgement receipts, and it's not wrong to use acknowledgement receipts. Kasi nga, informants cannot offer official receipts. They're informants. They're not a business. They are people inside a certain group, a certain rebel group that are giving information to the vice president. So they can't offer official receipt. Only businesses and establishments can offer official receipts. So acknowledgement receipts are accepted, and that's also based on the regulation listed by Joint Circular, as according to Mr. or Attorney Wamil. Doon naman sa mga aliases, hindi rin siya mali. Kasi as long as an operation is ongoing, we need to keep the identities of our informants confidential. Because if we don't, we're going to put the years of investigation and fact-finding efforts at jeopardy. Kasi now they're identity is released. So, it's not wrong. Also, Joel Villanueva pointed out that ESI 100, this is a regulation board na ang Philippines is part of. It's indicated there that yes, confidential funds should be audited by Commission on Audit. However, if there is an ongoing confidential action, the Commission on Audit should be more lenient and be understanding if there are aliases and names or identities are not disclosed. It's for the safety of the operation. Doon naman sa mga discrepancies tayo. Let's say, when the OVP submitted their documents to be audited, ang sagot naman nung joint circular is, this is not compliant. We will issue a notice of disallowance. And then issue sila na dapat mag-submit yung OVP ng document stating bakit yun ang nakalagay sa proof of success nila, which the OVP is given 180 days to submit. It's 6 months, right? Hindi pa tapos yung 180 days, so we can't judge the OVP based on that. We have to wait until the 180 days is done, and if kung nag-submit ba talaga ang OVP o hindi. Kung hindi sila mag-submit, then we might have a problem. But if within this 6 months they're able to submit the document, then we're gonna see that really nothing's wrong there. Now here's the funny part, and I want you to think about this. When Kapunan asked the witness na, okay, so nag-issue kayo ng disallowance, and then anong next na step nyo? According to the witness, they forward the information and the documents to a higher up office, and they're gonna do a much more thorough audit. And then Kapunan was like, oh, bakit gano'n? Ba't di na lang kayo nag-direkta na nagkaso, ganito, ganyan? Ang sagot naman ni Miss Witness is that, kasi po, and I want you to think about this, ang sagot niya, kasi po, maraming other government offices ang gumagamit ng confidential fund na ino-audit po namin ngayon kasi meron ding discrepancies. Meaning, it's not just the OVP that has discrepancies in the spending of confidential fund. Merong other offices in the government din. Pero for some reason, naka-highlight lang si OVP. Bakit kaya? Is it because talagang gusto lang nilang i-impeach si OVP para di siya makatakbo as Vice President in 2028? That's for you to think, right? Kasi if they're really non-biased and there's really no hidden motive or agenda behind it, then all of these other government offices should be in question too, right? Should be investigated too, as much as they're investigating Sarah for spending public fund, di ba? Yun. So yun na yun. That was just the prosecution pa lang. Tomorrow there's gonna be the cross-examination. It might be a little interesting. So, let's wait for that. But for now, that's all there is. I mean, paulit-ulit na yung mga tanong, paulit-ulit, ito ba perma ni ganito, ito ba siya. Really nothing there. However, I want to encourage you to listen beyond the words. Naintindihan nyo yun? Yung parang, kung nakikinig tayo, wag lang yung kung ano yung sinasabi. But, intindihan natin, okay, ba't niya sinabi yun? Ano ba talaga ibig sabihin nito? Anong nasa likod nito? Mga ganon, matuto tayong umusisa talaga kasi ganito. Towards the end of the proceeding, tumayo si sino ba yun? Yung from Bukidnon na senator. Gusto niya na naman ilipat ang oras ng proceeding to around 3 p.m. Dati, siya rin yung nag-request na ilipat yung proceeding from 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. to 10 a.m. Ngayon gusto niya naman ilipat to 3 p.m. kasi daw para mas maraming makapanood. Bakit? Kasi kung napapansin nyo, ang prosecution is all about theatrics and words that are suggestive, that will form a narrative in your head. So kung mas maraming nakakapanood, tapos gagamitin ng prosecution yung narrative and yung theatrics nila, maraming mga simpleng tao na wala namang kamalay-malay sa law at sa constitution na mapapapaniwala nila. And then pagdating ng 2028 election, magdadalawang isip na bumoto kay Sara. They're not in this impeachment trial to win the trial. They're in this impeachment trial to win the minds of the simple Filipinos. Yung mga mahihirap na Pinoy na hindi masyadong nakakaintindi ng mga proceedings sa korte. Kung nagawa nila yon, kung napapaniwala nila yung mga simpleng mamamayan pagdating ng 2028, di na talaga sila boboto kay Sara. Panalo pa rin sila kahit na hindi ma-impeach si Sara. So that's why I want to encourage you to listen beyond the words. Kasi ang prosecution is more on theatrics, narrative forming, and sorry. Yung mga ginagawa nila, maraming maniniwala, lalo pat hindi lahat ng Pilipino marunong umintindi. Tinatanggap lang nila kung ano yung naririnig nila sa TV. So mag-ingat po tayo kung ano ang pinapakinggan natin, ano ang tinitingnan natin. Matuto pa tayong umasisa. That's how we become better Pinoys. Let's be better Pinoys.